CWM. It's 13 minutes to 9 between now and 9 o'clock when we pass the baton on to Danny Kelly. We'll be remembering the lady who created this legendary West Midlands soap opera. Kick your Brookside, bit of Crossroads for you. Hazel Adair, who created that massively popular soap at one time, has passed away. We'll be talking to somebody who knew her and who worked with her a little bit later on.
Adrian Goldberg on BBC WM 95.6. Your voice in the West Midlands.
Now, British soap opera pioneer Hazel Adair, who helped to create Crossroads along with Peter Ling, has died at the age of 95. At its peak in the 70s, the show was watched by 18 million viewers, but it was then axed in the 1980s, before being reborn briefly. Let's get a word with Judy Jarvis. Judy played Vicky Lambert in Crossroads back in 1977. Judy, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Adrian. Adrian, my actual name is Judy Matheson. That's my Twitter name you've got there. Judy Matheson is the name of the actress.
Oh, I see. So you have a stage name.
I do. It was my original name, and it's the name I worked under, and it's certainly the name under which I played Vicky Lambert.
Judy Matheson.
That's the name.
Okay, very good. Now, Judy, talk to me a bit about Crossroads and Hazel Adair, because, you know, we now take soap operas for granted, but this was revolutionary television in its time.
It absolutely was. It was astonishing. It had bigger audiences. It had audiences that today's directors and producers could only dream of, because there was only 3 channels. So 20 million in the 70s, which is when I was doing it.
Did that mean that as you walked down the street you were instantly recognisable?
Well, to be honest, Adrian, it's the only time in my life, of a long life of being an actress, that happened. I was living in Hackney in London, and I'd take my clothes to the laundrette, which was always a completely painful experience, because everybody would come up and see me and ask me for my autograph. I didn't mind if I was out and about and looking good. You couldn't walk anyway, and actually, oddly, for 10 years later, people, when I'd finished, I'd be going to the odd shop, and somebody would say, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" It sort of got less and less until people started saying, do you teach at my daughter's school or something like that? But the face remained. The face remained recognisable for an astonishingly long time.
Incredible. And Hazel Adair pioneered the show. It was made first, I think, in 1964, based on the fictional motel of King's Oak, somewhere in the West Midlands.
Indeed.
And
indeed.
Did you know Hazel? Was she working on the show at the time when you were part of it in the mid-70s?
Well, she was. She was coming and going. She was about to leave, having set it up, and hand over to Reg Watson. I met her at my audition. I did audition twice for an earlier character, actually, and I didn't get that part. Reg Watson was taking over. Reg Watson, of course, went on to Australia to do Neighbours and things like that. So he obviously was as successful as she was. She was a remarkable woman.
Tell me a bit about Hazel.
Well, she was very creative, very dynamic. She seemed always, when she was talking, to have her finger on the zeitgeist of popular culture. She knew exactly what people wanted. And she was really, and she was an elegant woman, intelligent woman, and always very lively and full of ideas.
So not altogether surprising, then, that she generated this huge hit soap opera. You know, she understood people's triggers, knew what viewers wanted.
That's exactly right. You've put it exactly right, Adrian. You've put your finger on it.
And there was, I mean, like all soaps, there was always a fair bit of, it was hyper-real, wasn't it? There'd always be stuff going on, more affairs going on, more murders, more than in real life. Exaggeration of real life. It was just to keep the pot boiling.
That's exactly right, but that happens actually more in today's soaps.
Do you think
more
so?
More so in Emmerdale, more so in EastEnders. This was more sort of, if you like, suburban, and sort of intricacies of motel life, which seemed to be fascinating to people. There weren't a lot of murders, I think. There were the odd affair.
There were definitely a few affairs, Judy.
They were the most fun, I can tell you. Birmingham was a very happy place to work in. It really actually was. I loved every single minute of it.
Oh, Judy, lovely to speak to you. Thank you for joining us this morning. That's Judy Matheson, as she then was, played Vicky Lambert in Crossroads in 1977. And new Hazel Adair, one of the creators, along with Peter Ling of Crossroads, back in 1964. Imagine that, a television programme attracting 18 to 20 million viewers. Hazel Adair has sadly passed away. And you just think, wow. I mean, these days it would need something like a royal wedding or England getting to the World Cup final to get something like that number of viewers. And that was just the daily viewing figures at its peak, admittedly, of a very popular soap opera made here in the West Midlands.